So you've probably seen OpenAI making some huge moves lately. But this isn't just about building a better chatbot. No, they're aiming for something way bigger. We're talking about architecting a whole new kind of internet, a really fundamental shift in how we all interact with the digital world. So let's break down how they're pulling it off and what it really means for us.
Okay, to really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number, 800 million. That is how many people use ChatGPT every single week. Now, to put that into perspective, it took the original internet 13 years to get that many users. ChatGPT, it did it in just 2 years. Think about that. This isn't just fast growth. It's literally the fastest adoption of any technology in human history. It's wild.
All right, so here's the plan for this explainer. First, we're going to talk about the big picture of this whole new age of AI. Then, we'll dive into OpenAI's trillion-dollar game. Yeah, you heard that right, trillion. From there, we'll see how they're turning a chatbot into an operating system and explore this new agent-driven web they're imagining. We'll also check out the competition. And finally, ask the really big question. What does this mean for the future of an open internet?
Okay, first up, the new age of AI. And look, we've got to frame this the right way. This isn't just another tech fad, you know? People are calling this the fourth great technological transformation in all of human history.
To really wrap your head around what that means, let's put it in context. First came steam power, then we got electricity, and then digital computing. Each one of those completely rewired society. And now, AI. It's being seen as the next big one, on that exact same level.
And here's a key point. This isn't really about replacing people. It's all about augmentation. You know, the core idea is this concept of human-AI teaming. The AI handles all the routine stuff, which in turn rewires entire industries and, more importantly, elevates what we do. It shifts our focus to things like creativity, big-picture strategy. It's basically a massive force multiplier for everything we do. So who's sitting right in the middle of all this? Well, that brings us to OpenAI's trillion-dollar game. OpenAI has basically set itself up as the ringmaster of this whole circus, and they're backed by a truly mind-boggling amount of cash.
Get this, a recent share sale pushed OpenAI's valuation to a jaw-dropping $500 billion. Yeah, that makes it by far the most valuable startup on the planet.
And you better believe they're using that clout to lock in some absolutely massive infrastructure deals. I mean, we're talking a $500 billion deal with the US government, hundreds of billions with chip giants like NVIDIA and AMD, and then you've got Microsoft and Oracle throwing in billions too. When you add it all up, their compute deals could easily blow past $1 trillion. It's insane. So, does all that money pay off? Oh yeah. It translates directly into pure market dominance. Right now, ChatGPT commands over 80% of the entire AI chatbot market. There's just no question about it. They are the undisputed leader in this space. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Here's the pivot. See, this was never just about building a better chatbot. Their actual goal, their end game, is to turn ChatGPT into a whole new kind of operating system, what they're calling the super assistant blueprint. And you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from Nick Turley, who's the head of ChatGPT, pretty much says it all. The chatbot was just the beginning, the command line era, as he put it. The true vision from day one was always something way, way bigger. So how are they going to do it? Well, they have a pretty clear two-step strategy. First up is the app's SDK. This lets other companies, think Canva or Spotify, embed their tools right inside of a ChatGPT conversation. And second, there's AgentKit. This is the really powerful part. It's a builder that lets you create these little AI agents that can go off and do complex, multi-step tasks for you all on their own. And all of this, it leads to their ultimate vision, what's being called the agent-driven web. Now, this isn't just some new feature. This is a proposal for a fundamentally different kind of internet. Some people are even calling it the post-app world. So what exactly is an agent-driven web? What does that even mean? Well, think about it. Right now, you're constantly jumping between dozens of different apps and websites. The agent-driven web gets rid of that. Instead, you just talk to one single smart agent. You tell it what you need, and it does all the hard work, coordinating all those different services in the background to make it happen. This comparison here really nails the difference. You go from a world of fragmented apps to just one unified conversation. Instead of clicking and tapping all over the place, you're just using prompts to tell these agents what to do.
Basically, the whole way we interact with the internet shifts from pages and tabs to conversation threads and prompts.
Okay, let's make this a little more concrete. Imagine this scenario. You just say to your AI, hey, plan a weekend trip to the coast for me. It's not going to just spit out a bunch of links like Google. No way. It's going to research places, book your hotel, book your travel, make your dinner reservations, and even suggest things to do. And it does it all in that one single conversation. That's the power we're talking about.
But of course, a change this huge isn't happening in a vacuum, right? So let's take a look at the race for the future, because, trust me, OpenAI is far from the only company in this game.
You've got Google, of course, coming in strong with a focus on big business, using tools like their Vertex AI agent builder. But here's the really critical part of their strategy. They're pushing for an open standard called A2A, or agent to agent. They're trying to build a world where agents from Google, OpenAI, whoever, can all talk to each other. That's a big deal.
Then there's Microsoft, and they are absolutely playing to their strengths. With their Copilot Studio, they are weaving these agents deep into the fabric of Office and Azure. You know, the tools that millions of businesses are already using every single day.
And then you've got Anthropic. Now, their strategy is a little different. They're really focused on just one thing: building an incredibly powerful and safety-focused model, Claude. Their game is to empower the whole developer community to build the next generation of agents on top of their tech.
And it's not just the big guys. Beyond them, there is a whole thriving ecosystem. You've got all these cool startups popping up like Adept AI and Crew AI, and maybe even more important, you have these open source frameworks like AutoGen and LangChain that are basically making this technology accessible to everyone.
So all of this, it leads us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. What does this mean for the future of the web? Is it going to be more open or more closed? Right now, that future is totally unwritten.
But let's be real, this potential future comes with some pretty huge risks. Are we just creating a new, all-powerful gatekeeper in OpenAI sitting between us and the web? And what about privacy and security? When you have all these third-party agents running around with your data, the risks are enormous. And for developers, are we just heading for a repeat of the mobile app stores with that same kind of lock-in and crazy high fees? You can bet regulators are already looking at this very, very closely.
So at the end of the day, we're left with this one big question. Look, we are clearly on the edge of a massive change. It promises a much easier, more intuitive, more powerful internet. But while we're building it, we have to keep asking ourselves, are we actually building the next internet? Or are we just building a newer, smarter gatekeeper? The answer to that question is going to define the next decade of tech for all of us.